guys, I'm Kimberly and welcome to my channel. Today I want to sit down and talk to you about my story with protein losing enteropathy. And for those of you who don't know, February 7th through February 14th is CHD Awareness Week. So I was actually born with CHD, or congenital heart defect. My heart defect is Tricuspid Atresia. Basically, I was born with half of my heart missing. The right ventricle of my heart did not form. So my heart only has one pump in it. Your heart has two pumps. It pumps and all that blood goes to the body, and then it pumps and all that blood goes to the lungs. But for me, my heart only has one pump. So basically my heart pumps and all that blood goes to the body, and it pumps and all that blood goes to the lungs. And so basically they did a Fontan surgery to kind of help reroute that blood to get it to where it's supposed to go, and to kind of make my life a little easier. However, due to the Fontan surgery, for some unknown reason, it can cause PLE, or protein losing enteropathy. It can cause it like right after the surgery or years later. For me, it was years later. So when I was in 6th grade, when I started 6th grade, up until about freshman year of high school, I was really sick and no one had any idea what was going on. I would have diarrhea for like 2 or 3 weeks in a row, and then it would stop for a little while and come back. I would throw up after eating. I would wake up and my stomach would be small, and by the end of the day, it was just huge. It was so distended. I was just really fatigued. I remember like basically almost passing out in class. That was super fun. My parents were like, this is really odd. And we went to doctor after doctor after doctor. I don't know how many GIs we saw, and all of them were basically just like, oh, it's a virus. She's just faking it. She's constipated. Honey, that's just where you gain your weight. I'm like, really? Thanks. Like, that hadn't stuck with me forever. So finally, they did the barium swallow test, and if you've ever had it done, it's just oh so fun. It tastes nasty. I actually threw up pretty much all of it, and one of the nurses was in there was like, well, I don't know if we can do the test now because she threw it up. My mom just looked at him like, really? Like, it's her fault. She threw it up. I was like, you go, Mom. But they did the test anyway, and the GI was like, oh wait, there is an issue. He sent us over to another hospital, and I saw a GI there, which is the hospital I go to now, but I saw her, and she literally saved my life multiple times. This time she said, let's do an endoscope and a colonoscopy, which it's just so fun. If you've never had a colonoscopy before, you should just do it for kicks. So we did that at the same time, and she said, you know what? I think your daughter has celiac disease. And celiac is a intolerance. I cannot have it. I will get sick. Wheat, gluten, barley, rye, and oats if they are contaminated. And we had no idea what that was. We were like, huh? And she's like, well, it's genetic. We're like, yeah, no one in my family has that. Story of my life. So we started me on a gluten-free diet. And that first weekend was really hard. I was just like mad at the world, slamming the cabinets. I couldn't eat anything in the house. My mom was like, okay, you have this weekend to have your pity party. And after that, you're done. Like, no more pity party. And so Monday, we had all new food and life was okay. I made it. And it's been, I don't want to say how many years. I think it's like 13. Oh man, that makes me feel so old, but it has been a long time, and I am totally fine. Like, I love pasta. Like, I love pasta, and I can eat all the gluten-free pasta I want, and it's great. But we thought, okay, this is it. We're good. She's fine. and I had my energy back. I was like, I remember just running circles around the house because I could. And I did feel better, but about junior year of high school, all my symptoms came back. I was throwing up, I was vomiting, I was really tired, like no energy. I was really distended to the point that I would like I would be out somewhere and people would be like, so when are you due? What? Like, first of all, you don't ask a person if she's pregnant, okay? Like, you don't do that. I was like, seriously? But one of the major symptoms I was having, not that all those weren't major, but this one was really, it was really like life altering. I was swelling everywhere. Like, I would wake up and it looked like I had been punched in the face. Like, I had gotten into a bar fight the night before because my eyes were just practically swollen shut. And I had no chin. My ankles were like cankles. Like, you could not see bone. I mean, you had to push in pretty far to get to the bone. Tops of my feet were really swollen as well. Like, I stretched so many shoes being swollen, and I just thought, oh, I had gained weight. Like, I was fat. Like, I had no clue that this was like not normal. And I just remember being so self-conscious during those 2 years. Like, I felt huge and just ugly. I mean, that girl still haunts me to this day. I promise you that. Finally, that GI was like, you know what, let's just do some blood work, see what we can find out. And I'd actually graduated high school at that point, and we had gone on vacation, and we come back and we get a phone call, and they're like, you need to come in. And we find out that my albumin level is 0.08. It's not good. So let me explain. In your body makes protein. It can be measured in protein or as an albumin. I do albumin because they always measure my albumin, so I understand that better. But your body makes protein / albumin, okay? It's normal. Your body makes fluid, okay? And that protein tells it where it needs to be. It's kind of like going to a public school and getting a class schedule. Everyone gets a schedule. It tells you what classrooms to go to, so you know what class you're in, okay? So when the bell rings, everyone's in their assorted class, right? But if you don't have a schedule, you're just kind of wandering the halls, completely lost. That's basically what my flu was doing. It was lost. There was nothing to tell it, hey, you go to this part of the body, you go to this part of the body. It was just roaming free. And for a normal person, their albumin level is 3.5 to 5.0. Remember, guys, mine was 0.08. That's to the point where my organs were probably going to start shutting down. And so we just kind of looked at the doctor and was like, okay, cool. Like, we know what this is. What do we do about it? And she's like, I have no idea. What? What do you mean you don't know? She's like, I've never heard of this. No one here has heard of this. I don't know what this is. And my cardiologist at the time, he's not my cardiologist anymore, was like, it's a GI problem. No, honey, it's both, okay? It's both a problem. So anyway, she did all this research. And by the way, guys, this was not a doctor, okay? This was a fellow who is like one step from a doctor, all right? So she's amazing. She started doing all this research, trying to figure out what in the world this is and how to fix it. Like, what do we need to do? So I ended up getting a protein infusion, and that helped for a while. And then I started on octreotide, which is a shot I gave myself 3 times a day. And I got so used to it that, like, one time we were sitting at a traffic light and it was time to give the shot. I was not driving. And I just like pull up my shirt and I just start sticking it right in. My mom's like, are you done? And I'm like, yeah, but I probably just gave a heart attack to like the people next to us. Medical problems. So we did that, and then we did Peptamen, which is actually used for feeding tubes, but I took it orally. It doesn't taste very good at all. We put some strawberry syrup in it. It kind of helped. I don't know. It just made me feel sick. But my protein, my albumin level did go up to normal at that point, and I lost 15 pounds of fluid. I went from 135 pounds to 120 pounds, like just within weeks. She was like, this is all I know to do. And my mom started researching online, trying to find doctors, trying to find someone that could help, because at this point, we were barely like making it work. And if things started falling again, like I could die, like they could lose me. And so my mom got online, started praying, started researching. She came across Mayo Clinic in Rochester, which if you've never been to the Mayo Clinic, if you're ever in a state where there is one, like just go in it. It's amazing. It's a great place. But she emailed a cardiologist and a GI, and the two that emailed her back are still my doctors to this day. Ed Mayo, those are my Mayo doctors. I have my Tennessee doctors. We ended up packing up. I took a semester off of college. It was my second semester in college, guys. Like, I started a semester super sick, and then I like took a semester off. I was like doing this so well. So just side point note, guys, if you're in college and you're having to start and stop because of your health, it's okay. It took me 6 years to graduate, okay? Don't feel bad if it takes you a while. You can still do it. You got this. But anyway, I took a semester off of college, and in February we headed up to Mayo. They did a heart cath, they did an endoscope, they did blood work, they did everything, okay? And my GI there was like, I'm wondering if you are misdiagnosed with celiac. We're like, no, I'm pretty sure I have it. He's like, I just want to do the blood test just to make sure, like, this is really what this is. We're like, okay, that's fine, I don't care. And we sat down in his office, and he starts going through PLE and how it works and how you need to be on a low-fat diet. And our doctor, my other doctor, had said a low-fat diet. Well, for a normal person who's going on a low-fat diet, it's 60 grams. We were like, yeah, we're doing low-fat, like 60 grams. And he's like, no, I'm talking more like 10 grams a day. We're like, 10? What? So that was a change. So then he was like, okay, so we're gonna try you on budesonide. And at that point, budesonide was like a whole new thing. Like, that was like brand new top line medication for this. And then he looks at me and he goes, so your celiac test was correct. You do have celiac. And we're like, yeah, we know, we told you. And he's like, no, you don't understand. You either have PLE or celiac. You don't have both. Like, you're the only person in the US and Canada that I know that has both. But he was like, I have my patients, and then I have you. We got started on it. I got weaned off the shots. Everything got better, but with PLE, it's really finicky, okay? It's like if you get too much fat, like a few days in a row, it can drop. Or if you get really sick, it can drop. Like, there's no, there's such a fine line. It's like thin ice, okay? I basically skate on thin ice all the time. And if I mess up one little thing, it plummets. And so for 10 years, it was up and down and up and down and up and down. I did everything I could. I stayed with my diet. I took my medication. Like, it was really frustrating when it dropped, because I was like, I'm doing everything I can. So about 2 years ago, my protein level was low. I had lost a lot of weight. Like, things were not getting better. And my cardiologist now, who is fantastic, the whole team is fantastic, was like, you know, I really think we need to look into heart transplant. And I'm like, excuse me? What? And that was really hard. But at the same time, he was like, let's try this new medication called Minidrin. They've used it in Georgia. It worked. for kicks, let's just try it. We have nothing to lose. And I was like, I'm fine with that, whatever. And so we did. My protein started going back up. Like my albumin level started going back up. I just kept praying that God would heal me so that I would not have to have a transplant. And while some people are like, you're not healed, like you're still on oxygen, you still have half a heart, like you still have all these issues. But guys, God did heal me, like in his own special way, in his own special timing. And that Minidrin medication just worked, and it's still working. Like my protein level is 4.7, guys. Like 5.0 is like the highest you could have it. Like I never thought my protein would be a high normal, much less normal. And it's just amazing to see what he did through those doctors, through all those people he put in my life to get me to where I am now. And you know, my doctors actually wrote up a paper of me. Like I'm on a research thing. Like it's so cool. I am actually, they did an alpha-1 test, which if you don't know what that is, it's measuring protein in your poop. And they did that last year at Mayo, and it was like normal. Like it's never normal. And my GI was there, was like, basically you're in remission, which I never thought I would hear those words with PLE, ever. Even though I am in remission, I'm up to 20 grams, but I'm still doing low fat, still taking my medication. I'm weaning off of some of my medication, but you know, like it's a non-stop thing. And right now I'm just enjoying that stability and where I am in life, and just praising God that like I'm in remission. Like this is crazy. And I think sometimes we get in that mindset of, oh my gosh, nothing's going to change, nothing's going to get better. And I'm like, it will get better. It will. And one day you're going to look back and you're going to go, how in the world did I make it here? But I just wanted to sit down, share my story, my protein losing enteropathy story. I have written a blog on this. I'll post it below. It's about, you know, going through school and having to hide how sick I really was. Like none of my classmates really knew how sick I was. If you haven't seen my other video on my heart defect, I kind of go into detail about my surgeries and how all my heart works and everything. That is also below, and it's around here somewhere, so you guys can check that out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope I answered some of your questions. But if you have any other questions about this, like please comment below, or you can follow me on my Instagram. The link is below, and you can DM me there. Like that's fine. Like I want to hear your stories. I want to hear your questions. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I know it's probably long. I apologize. It's a long story. But yeah, thank you so much to that doctor. You know who you are. That fellow who saved my life. I don't even know if I have words to thank you enough. And to Mayo Clinic, thank you so much for helping me get my life back. So thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you soon.